for this evening presentation. Tonight, we have lenders, investors, politicians, foundations and corporations, other nonprofits, community residents, developers, the faith community, and others that's part of this discussion on how to transform dysfunctional communities. This evening, we want to talk about a new school, next generation approach to neighborhood transformation. We titled this presentation, Tampa-Baltimore Model, East Coast Approach to Neighborhood Transformation. Moving from distress to success. Poor planning equals gentrification. Smart planning equals transformation of residents. Leveling the playing field. Investing in people by planning smart. Connect the dots to transforming people in neighborhoods and reducing gentrification. From community building and partnership to HUD empowerment zone to promised neighborhoods. In 1993, Baltimore became the focus of the nation's effort to find a solution to end the war on poverty. In that year, community building and partnership was created and was marketed as the nation's best hope. This was a partnership between the enterprise community partners and the mayor of Baltimore, Kirk Smoke. It was the first broad-based, comprehensive renovation of an entire neighborhood. It was labeled the 90s test tube baby, and experts from around the country and the world came to learn and advise, including Ivy League universities. This initiative resulted in the development of what is now known as the Federal Empowerment Zone, which was the first and only government initiative using a comprehensive and holistic community model. Lessons learned from this initiative and research on best practices from around the country have led to the groundwork for the West Tampa Community Initiative. Lesson learned from this initiative and research on best practices from around the nation led to the foundation for the West Tampa Resident-Driven Community Comprehensive Initiative. The model coming out of that experience include the following. First, respond to the problem using a systematic, programmatic, and strategic model that provides community with the tools to rebuild their community. It is a bottom-up approach that is resident-driven and result-oriented. It is all-inclusive in that it includes not only ideas from the Green Party, Democrats, libertarian, and politicians and Republicans, but also other ideas. It is both a comprehensive and holistic. It is both comprehensive and holistic in scope, and it connects the dots. Our model is based on a generational approach that tailor and surgically focus on Generation X, Y, Z, and baby boomers. What do we know? Each of these generations have a particular characteristic about them. Hence, every strategy has to fit that generation. What we do know, baby boomers are now in the top level of committing crime, as is same as Generation X. Like any community that is dysfunctional and poverty-stricken, the West Tampa community mirrors the characteristic of a lot of poor neighborhoods. In fact, you can compare West Tampa to Baltimore City in a lot of ways. Based on lessons learned from the Baltimore experience. In 2005, 2 years after coming to West Tampa and working with the West Tampa community and putting together the model that we're going to be talking about a little bit later on, the West Tampa took the spotlight. When we presented the West Tampa strategy to the community that consists of national leaders, developers, investors, community residents, it took West Tampa by surprise. Again, the model was based on the experience in Baltimore by way of community building and partnership and the federal empowerment zone. What we did with those lessons is to refine those lessons and see if the Baltimore experience could be applied to West Tampa. And we killed it. The West Tampa Model Community Comprehensive Initiative. As you see, the scope of the model was holistic, comprehensive, and integrated. The method used for this initiative is a community mapping asset building strategy that synthesizes 3 community disciplines: neighborhood planning, community organizing, and economic development into a single methodology for community revitalization. What is asset mapping and what is the goal? The goal of asset mapping is to create a healthy local economy characterized by the recirculation of money and a high rate of employment among residents. Elements. West Tampa CDC includes Dr. Margaret Fisher, who is the chairperson, and Joe Robinson, who is the vice chairperson. It is through their leadership that we were able to put together the 5-year plan to transform the community. Let's talk about what does that plan look like. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Fisher and Joe Robinson, who made it possible for this plan to come into play. In addition to having a leadership that's important, that people respect and buy in to a community strategy, the other thing is having a plan in which we put together in conjunction with the community. And the third element is networking, partnership. That's a key element. All three of those elements have success written all over it. The plan. The West Tampa employs a multidimensional, comprehensive, integrated, and holistic approach to community revitalization. As you see, this is the blueprint. It starts with the community who is in control of the whole process. The community then delegates to a CDC, in this case, the West Tampa CDC, to bring together its vision. In order for the West Tampa CDC to bring about the vision, we had to put together strategic partners, including nonprofits, government, the private sector, institutions of higher learning, and others. Based on these partnerships, the strategy that came out of it, and the focus is three key components: economic, social, and physical development. As you can see, the CDC was able to partner with over 50 different entities. Most are here, but some are not, in order to put together and do a winnable proposal to change the focus of the community. Economic development, social development, and physical development are the three key legs. Economic development focuses on people related to jobs. Economic development focuses on businesses in the community. Social development deals with everything related to the person: youth, seniors, health, etc. And physical development has to do with bricks and mortar. The strategy right here is now being used in 10 different states. It's moving from a promised best practice to a best practice model. In any initiative, you must be able to show how do you fund it. Well, the West Tampa CDC, like most CDCs that are sustainable, uses what's known as a social entrepreneurship approach. That is, we focus on three key sources: earned income, charitable distributions, and public sector subsidies. In terms of input, that is, how do the money come in? As you can see, we're bringing it in through grants and social media fundraising, fee for service, development fees, consultant fee, and own and operate our own businesses. And we're going to talk about that later on in the presentation when we talk about the most recent initiative coming out of West Tampa. The other component related to input, and this is somewhat different for nonprofit, is investment into financial securities to make sure we have ongoing money coming in, be it stocks or bonds, etc., in order to bring in additional monies. Now, the money or revenue that comes in goes to employment service, public safety, youth program, community building, etc. The outcome includes increased employment, increased affordable housing, reduction of crime, and improved quality of life. The benefits is an increased tax base for government, city government, a reduction in requiring city services, including public safety. This reduces the burden on the local government, a reduction in risk for the lenders. When lenders see a strategy on community revitalization that reduces that risk, they become benefited. This also increases the return on investment for investors and basically a better quality of life. So these are the different benefits coming out of this particular approach to earn income. As part of this initiative, the other pieces that are being put together is the business plan, operational plan, physical management, fundraising, technology, marketing and branding plan, and partnerships and collaboratives. All this become part of the strategy to become independent and structurally sound. Next steps. Well, we want to finalize our tools for success, the theory of change, logic model, and SWOT analogy. Updates to strategic and action and operational plan, 2019 to 2024. Complete the business plan, meet community, focus on, have community meetings and focus group, think tanks, network partnership with other nonprofits, do surveys, and present the plan to city council, county commissioner, planning commissioner, investors, funders, and residents. The meeting day will be made into a video in which we will send to funders nationally to get the funding needed to staff and provide the operation costs necessary to be successful. The next presentation talks about an initiative that is focused on how do we both reduce crime and at the same time reduce gentrification. Hello, my name is Michael Randolph. I'll be presenting the most recent initiative in West Tampa. This initiative came into play as a result of over 2 years of community meetings and focus group to get community input as to what are the community priorities. Based on that information, the following 4 priorities have been documented. The first is gentrification. The second is crime. The third is community economic development that leads to living wages jobs and both individual and community wealth. The fourth, and this is important, concern in the community was technology. The West Tampa CDC Technology, Wealth Building, and Job Creation Initiative was our response to meeting those 4 core concerns in the community. This video that's coming up is going to express the fears throughout West Tampa, but the fears throughout most poor communities where you have residents, specifically residents who are renters, and fear being gentrified from their community. So we're hearing from the mouth of Ms. White, just to put context to why what we do is so important.
Viruses, try to understand whether those fundamentally right.
I'm with Ms. White today, and we're going through West Tampa. As you can see, Ross Avenue and Highland. So what is happening in your community, Ms. White? What's going on with all these buildings coming up?
There's a lot of construction and investors have bought into this area. They're doing from a Heights Union building. They have produce markets.
Gentrification is taking place, and that's why we're really critical about making change in West Tampa. Just let me give you some numbers. Right now in West Tampa, that's over 60% of the people in West Tampa, they actually rent. When you look at that number right there, the average rent, the average salary in West Tampa is $19,000. That means that person can only afford a unit for
The entire senior year.
$500 plus. Although the average unit in West Tampa is $700.
They won't be able to stay over here.
That means that 60% of the people in West Tampa won't be here in the next 4 to 5 years.
No, because they're buying out.
They found out everything in West Tampa. This is what we call gentrification. On another note, we got a big major meeting coming up on March the 31st at the West Tampa Library to talk about the gentrification that's going on in West Tampa and how we solve this problem.
And restructure.
11th New Hampshire holds
So, Ms. White, in essence,
election.
and I want the people who's listening to
Would be driving.
Facebook to understand this, in essence,
Would see one.
the friend that you know right now,
Others trying.
or you might not be here in 4 to 5 years.
Now that they can use strategy tactics to move you, because I've gotten up to 8 letters. I've gotten a picture of my own house 2 or 3 different times. And they want to buy it as it is and such. And I said, well, where am I going? I need a place to live.
And that's going throughout West Tampa, folks. As you see, all of this construction that's going on, people are being missed out. In the area that we're talking about, which is CRE area, 62% of people are African Americans.
Late on Thursday, the Iowa Democratic Party released the
So it's important that you come out and be part
judge narrowly vested.
of these meetings and the strategy. We put together a 5-year plan to talk about how can we begin to raise people out of their current situation so they can live in the West Tampa community. How do we build that skill set to make sure people are not gentrified out of the community? Anything else, Ms. White?
Yes, I want to take you now on Ross Avenue. Yes, I want to take you now on Ross Avenue,
Okay.
where I live. So these are the houses and the inhabitants of people that are living there who have been personally harassed. Because I think when I started to get all of these letters and pictures of the house, I guess they went on Facebook or someplace and found pictures of the places because they've been taking pictures forever of all this area.
And this is going on in West Tampa as we speak.
Yes, it is.
Let's start with you.
Our task from the community was to create a low location-based economic driver for West Tampa. This is a national approach to reducing gentrification and increasing public safety. What does success look like? Well, for the next 5 years, we plan to work with 50 to 70 new businesses, resident-owned businesses. That's going to create between 75 to 100 local jobs. We plan to provide technical support to 50 to 60 businesses, and between 200 and 300 residents will benefit from technology training. Our Business Incubator Center will serve 40 to 50 businesses. 60 to 100 low-income young adults will be connected to careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. From 100 to 350 low-income residents will move from a consumer mentality to an investor mentality. What are our key goals? Well, first, we want to reduce gentrification by improving the workforce. That is, we want to increase the earning potential of residents by improving their skill sets. Next, we want to enhance public safety using an economic development approach that deters crime by creating opportunity that remove barriers and increase hope. We want to increase opportunity for resident-owned business. In other words, building wealth in poor communities. We want to increase the community understanding of investment. That is, by moving them from a street mindset to a Wall Street mindset. Investment. Starting at age 9. The other goal is to increase community wealth. And this one is one of the key. Improve technology opportunities for residents. Increase earned income and narrow the digital divide. Without technology, without an understanding of how to use it in such a way to transform communities, there is a disconnect, and that's why this focus on technology and the other things that we talked about are so important based on what we got from the community. Okay, let's move to the next section. So, how do we become financially self-sufficient? current income. Below are the 6 revenue diversification strategies that we have put into place in order to get us closer and closer towards financial dependency. Each of the programs that you want to hear about are going to be financially independent in 3 to 5 years by generating revenue through business ventures and corporate partners. And these partners include lenders, investors, tech companies, public subsidies, etc. Technology is the future. And unless we prepare those who live in, especially poor communities, prepare them in order to benefit from technology, we could lose, and we are losing, generations. Our Tech and STEM Center will do the following. The first is to provide training to residents, like in coding, mobile application, software development, web development, game application, and artificial intelligence. Again, this is coming into play as a result of partnership with the tech communities. The second part of the center is to increase the number of minorities, especially the young, to go into science, technology, engineering, and math. And the last part of this particular center is to reduce the digital divide in the community. We also think that in addition to improving a person's income, this can be used as a strategy in conjunction with our public safety strategy to give people reasons to connect into opportunities that can uplift them from the streets. Program, Performing Art and Production Center, we think goes to the core of our slogan, a hip-hop approach to reducing crime. What the research shows is that those individuals that are hanging on those street corners, if given the opportunity to create their own video, TV production, recording, entertainment center, art center, that they would choose this over the streets, hanging in the streets. Now, we call it reducing crime by enticing those at risk to lay down the weapon and take up the microphone. This is going to be one of the highest performing business renters that we take on. The next program is the Business Development Center. The focus here is to create individual wealth by assisting residents in starting their own business. That's the primary focus. But the focus also is using business development as an opportunity to remove barriers from those that have criminal records, those who are dealing with little skills, those who are disabled, and others who have been locked out of making a decent wage. For that population, this gives them an opportunity by starting their own business to overcome those barriers and make a decent income. Again, we can't overemphasize increased individual wealth. While generally we're going to focus on anybody who has a barrier to getting that, making good income, we're also going to have a focus on home-based businesses because we realize there are a lot of, especially African-American single moms in the community that are either not making enough or are barely making it all together. And they don't have daycare. This focus on home-based businesses, focus on females, single females that starting their own home-based business, using e-commerce and social media. There's a lot of money to be made out there, anywhere from drop shopping onto other strategies in order to create business opportunities at home. And the only thing that person would need would be the internet and a computer. And then finally, we want to make sure that we're able to seal the deal by partnering with, again, financial institutions to provide the microloans necessary to start the business. It becomes a win-win situation in economic development and job creation. Notice, for every business that we assist in getting started, there's potential of up to 3 employees being hired. So this becomes a job creation mechanism. So let's move to the next section. Program is the Business Incubator Center. This is where we focus on working with those who have either e-commerce or social media type of business to provide them with technical support. Our Community Wealth Center, which is key to what we call poor people because poor people spend poorly. This Community Wealth Center focuses on moving residents from a consumer mentality to an investor mentality, starting at age 9. You create a whole new generation of understanding wealth and generating passive income. And it's going to be an in-depth workshop on understanding investment and building foundations for good investment, and experts from around the country by way of YouTube and other mechanisms of finding information on the internet will give advice. And then finally, there's the enterprise, social enterprise for West Tampa CDC. And that is creating 3 community businesses That's going to create 6 to 15 new jobs created within the next 3 to 5 years. This is what we call community growth. Based on a feasibility study, we identified the 3 top gross income generating businesses potential in the West Tampa community.
Okay.
So, where do we go from here? Right now, we're talking with investors, lenders, grantors, and other financial sources from around the country that are seeking out projects that create wealth, reduce gentrification, and address the impact of systemic racism. Okay, so we're about to switch over to the next part of the presentation, in which we want to recognize people from around the country that are doing some amazing things. Give me 1 second to transition.
Trying to stop us of our young brothers and sisters being shot.
I'm trying to get me a better one.
No, you did.
I got it.
Oh, we deep. Ain't we deep? Let me know when you're ready. Go, Doc.
All right, we out here in the great Cherry Hill. That's right. Let me tell you, it's a lot of great stuff going out here in the great Cherry Hill, but you don't have good stuff going on if you don't have good leaders.
That's right.
So being that I'm not from Cherry Hill, I'm going to be...
Just to give some context, this group here represent a group of Black men that have taken to the streets, and females in Baltimore, to stop the killing. What you might know, what you might not know, Baltimore is the 3rd leading city in the nation with violent crime. Lesson learned from what we're about to show in terms of groups that's working to stop crime can be used in Tampa, Florida.
Quiet and let Cherry Hill leaders speak. So we're going to start with several of the leaders from Cherry Hill, but they got great things. Youngsters are feeling good because the adults are looking out for their youngins in Cherry Hill. So we're going to start with Pastor Ebony, and then she's going to pass it to Mike, and we're going to move around. All right? So, Sister Ebony.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got. I just want to say to each and every one of you all, it's a blessing to be a part of a great movement. And I just want to say on January the 13th of 2013, the same spot where we're standing, me and my daughter, doing the work that I always do, talking to the kids, we were in a major shootout. The car was shot probably a good 10, 15 times. That window was blown out right here, in this particular area. And I thank God for you guys, because I think only been in this area, this spot, probably twice since that happened. And just to see how many of you guys are here today to be a part of a movement. Enough is enough. It's time for parents crying. It's time for our kids to live to be old and not die young. You know, and as all of you guys have mentioned, it's not just one person. It's going to take all of us to come together to make a change. You know, it's going to take our men to reach out to our young men. It's going to take us as ladies to reach out to our young ladies, teaching our young ladies that they're not no gods, they're queens. Teaching our young men that guess what, they are kings. They're not a thug. Guess what? Just because you can shoot a 9 or a 357, that don't mean that you're a gangster. Whatever you put your mind to, it may happen. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you strong. So I'm just challenging each and every one of our Facebook family, our Facebook friends, be a part of something that's positive. Be a part of us. We are us. And right now, I'm going to turn it into the hands of Brother Mike.
We all we need. Listen, man, 2021, man, and forever and beyond, man, is about these kids, man. It's about these kids. We really got to focus on these children, man, and show them the right way and lead them and guide them. They say a youthless movement is a useless movement. So that's what we focusing on these kids. Me, myself, my name is Michael Battle. I'm the executive director of Rich Restoring in the City Hope. I'm located at 844 Roundview Road. If you have any young men in your family, from middle school to high school, send them to me. I got them. We changing mindsets. We changing behaviors. We changing lives. We investing in these kids, and we leading with love. We're working 24/7 with these boys and trying to instill good values and putting great men around them. We all we got. We all we need.
It is the public-private, a great hero. That has this next video talks about Dante Blackstell, who was very much in the most recent deal in both the CDC of Tampa will provide his words because they are specialized in workforce development. They also have an expertise.
What's up, folks?
Affordable housing.
Man, the St. Street guys, we live on Road Street. We in the jungle.
West Campus.
Me and Big Brother Hans was just having a conversation, right? And
Bring into
the little dudes out here, right?
some of the components of the West Campus.
Like, we just shooting. You shooting people. Human beings, bro. Right? Just out here, you just senseless shit. Senseless shit. We gotta stop this.
Dante gave his life to the streets in order to save others. This particular piece was recorded prior to his death.
Senseless shit. We gotta stop the senseless shit. It's senseless. I'm lying, Porky. I'm talking about senseless shit. Senseless shit. Senseless crap. It's senseless. Senseless shit. You better.
Dante Blackstell, if you do the research, his family was featured in The Wire, which was a HBO presentation on Baltimore. As a matter of fact, Baltimore has had 3 pictures that was focused on it. The Wire, The Corner, Poor Black and Real Trouble, and Homicide.
Stop shooting. 50 stars. Look, yes. I promise you. See, dudes don't understand about what is called MFC when we locked down for 23 and 1. See, you know, dudes don't know about that 23 and 1. Yes, Porky. Yes, Porky. That's what that is. That's China. China, what up, China? China,
what's up, China Dog?
Assalamu alaikum, man. Oh, the brother. Man, Porky standing on his block on Rose Street. Sitting back, chilling. What's up, Sir Jazz? You and Jumar? Sitting right here with Brother Hans, Porky. What's up, twin? Senseless shootings, man. We gotta stop. What's up, Sean? That senseless shootings. We gotta stop them. See, if it's like 15 things that we think that these dudes should die for, we should try to like eliminate about 11 of them. You know, yo stole the stash. Yo stole the stash. Just cut him off. You know? He ran off with a little bit of money. Even the government got the petty larceny and the grand larceny. Give them the grand larceny or the petty larceny. Give them the petty larceny. If they only ran off with $70, don't shoot them. Just cut them off. Go buy a brand new pair of tennis in his face. You know what I mean? And still speak to
you guys
him.
know them niggas fucked up before y'all put them packs and them stuff in their hands.
Yeah. Sherrod, what's up, Sherrod?
Think it's gonna be different because it's you.
We live on Rose Street.
His nationality.
Senseless
He was
shootings.
fucking up since he was a kid. He was gonna be a fuck up as an adult. But I'm not
Senseless shootings. We trying
no
to.
need for him to die when you already know he's a fuck up.
Absolutely.
Set him on his way.
And then you know,
they gotta take this thing back to the old rules.
you gotta go back to the
old rules. If you know he was effed up, then nobody in the city supposed to give him anything.
Anything.
You know, he don't get nothing because he's an F up. You know? Then we gotta stop letting these clowns think that they rolling, you know what I mean, without no rules and consequences.
Yeah.
Right here doing the dumbest things in the world and not getting sanctioned. You know? Gotta start sanctioning these niggas again, man. You know?
There's no rules.
There's no rules to this thing.
At one time, you couldn't even act like you was gonna go shoot a dude. Other dudes would be like, yo, you can't shoot, yo.
Yo, you remember back in the day, robbers couldn't come in certain areas and rob nobody or sell. Nobody could come in at the shop closed and sell no drugs and all that.
I was down here that day. I had me a brand new gun.
Senseless shooting.
They took it from him, you know? This stupid stuff.
Senseless shooting.
18-year-old, but it's worse than the senseless murder of a young lady. That's an 18-year-old who gonna lose his life.
Yeah.
15 years on the cop whole life if you go to trial and play with him.
Yeah, because he gonna play with him, he gonna do 6 decades.
This little kid
Then
really think this shit is done.
you get over in the jail after you get about 10 or 15 and realize you got all this time and life passing you by, you gonna start crying the blues.
Yeah.
Shit shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but you didn't.
When you're doing a bit,
Yeah.
and that stuff don't apply.
It's time.
It's time.
And then you got dudes that go to jail, they got 50 and 60 years in life, keep talking about everything. Everything.
They put another nigga in there with him.
Everything. I was going to say something I didn't want to say because I was going to get indignant and I was going to start cussing. You know? But the thing of the matter is, when you in that jail, man, it ain't no love. It's all survival. They got MFC. You're going to be on that for 23 and 1.
Yep.
I don't promote nobody to go do nothing to police.
Now, what was so important about this particular guy, because he was from the streets, he could actually talk to those guys with the guns in their hands to get them to change their mind. He was straight from the streets, he represented the street, and he definitely tried to make change before his life was taken.
Polices and COs, but I mean, can't the people in the street get a couple of passes like they get when they do fucked up shit? Yeah. Cause you give all of them passes. They rob your house, break in your house, and do all kinds of stuff. And you say, "Oh, that's the police that cut my mother couches up." But a dude stole $20 from you, you gonna bust his head wide open for what? Let's stop killing each other. Don't kill nobody. Do you understand that 33,000?
See that the best of Bronx cost them $20. Cost you $20. Get them out your life.
Get them out your life. You know? And it's just to tell you
$20 to get them out your life.
Gun violence, often deadly, that has become a part of life for one West Baltimore neighborhood. A community where one activist tells Fox 45 News there have been 9 shootings in the 5-block area in just 2 months. It's just one extreme example of what is happening in the streets of Baltimore. Fox 45's Riel Creighton walked that neighborhood today, and she's live now with more. Riel?
Well, Maxine, it is the sort of unimaginable level of violence, killings and shootings that is happening in this one community that they have had to endure. It is their story, but we also know based on the numbers that it is a story that is happening in other neighborhoods around the city. The neighborhood, Fulton Avenue near Reisterstown Road.
It's the Wild Wild West. It's West Baltimore.
Marty Griffin has lived over 40 years.
It's rough.
What is happening here?
I've seen people killed in front of my house every day. You hear guns going off. You hear people get shot every day around here.
Families decimated. Block after block of bloodshed. Nearly every corner scrawled in street-side concrete memorials. R.I.P. Names, nicknames of someone who lost their life. But in this neighborhood,
I was shot 3 months ago.
You also needn't go far to find the walking wounded, survivors.
Hit in my back, man. I got a fragment in my back. You don't panic, you don't die.
The tragedy unfolding on a staggering level in roughly 5 blocks.
The last 2 months, you've had 9 people shot.
Tyree Moorhead, the man behind Baltimore's no-shoot sidewalk art.
This angel. We don't shoot little girls.
Dedicating this massive one to a 10-year-old girl caught in the crossfire of a daytime gun battle. She lived, but there are many others on different days who didn't.
Long live legs. This no-shoot zone is not for legs, but one of his homeboys came over here and asked me could I put his name there because he died up there. Also, Lil Var. What is this about this city that certain neighborhoods seem to have a dark cloud over them?
A neighborhood where people like Marty Griffin,
that's just how it is,
don't see help coming anytime soon. There is a real sense of hopelessness in that community. We know that the city violence was enough for a much publicized summit between the mayor and Governor Hogan this past week.
The next presentation is about a remarkable person who's an attorney coming out of Tampa.
Hello, this is Leroy Staley, board member with the Keith Aaron's House Foundation. Why I like Aaron's House? Because the fact we have really good support groups. We understand what mental illness is because I've dealt with it with my own son with having schizophrenia, bipolar, depression. Giving back back to the community with the support groups. We go bowling, we take them out to eat, and we have fun. So, Pam, I just want to say thank you for making me a Tampa legend, because we support you and we support our direction. I just want to say thank you to Tampa and thank you for being supportive. And if you need anything, give us a call so we can help you with any situation. Thank you.
About the importance of mental wellness before, I'm sure that with all that's going on in the world right now, it's recently crossed your mind. Well, I began to think about mental wellness as a parent of a young adult that suffers with a mental disorder. My name is Jewel Schubert, and I'm a board member of Aaron's House. Aaron's House is an organization that was founded by a mother, Mrs. Pamela Robinson, who lost her young adult son, Aaron Keith Robinson, as he battled with bipolar. A mother's cry turned into a respite for caretakers who need support, comfort, and a safe space for real compassionate dialogue and sometimes direction. Aaron's House does is it offers information and education, and it provides support sessions led by certified mental health professionals. What I love about Aaron's House culture is that we all understand that the stigma and the silence of a disease of the mind is no more different than the disease of the body. And we wish nothing more than to hope that the world would truly understand this. We want the community of caretakers to find a place at Aaron's House, to look at the whole part of you and your loved one. There's an old saying that if mama or daddy ain't all right, then no one's all right. So, don't suffer in silence. We understand that everyone could use a can of help at some point in their life. If you want to know more about Aaron's House, you can find us on Facebook at Aaron's House. Again, don't suffer in silence. You have Aaron's House as a friend. Thank you.
Is because of the amazing, heartfelt story told to me by Pamela Robinson, the founder of Aaron's House, in regards to her son, Aaron Keith Robinson, and his journey once he was diagnosed with a mental illness. Her story was just simply amazing. The commitment from the board members and the volunteers in regards to providing ongoing services such as fun activities, resources, and free counseling to caregivers who have family members who have been diagnosed with mental illness. Aaron's House gives back to the community. Thank you.
And I'm a member of the board of directors of the Aaron Keith Robinson Foundation.
501c3 not-for-profit corporation. We provide care, respite, counseling, and educational resources to caregivers of persons with mental illness or other defects. This foundation was born of the grief of attorney Pamela Robinson, who suffered the loss of her son, Aaron Keith Robinson, while he was suffering from a mental health event. One of the things that I enjoy most about working with this organization is that the commitment of the founder and the energy that its board of directors bring are contagious. In this day of COVID-19, we have learned that the incidence of emotional and mental distress is very high, and therefore the need for the services provided by Aaron's House has increased exponentially. We ask your help in helping us to carry out the mission of Aaron's House, as the need is greater than it has ever been before. Please consider making a donation to Aaron's House to help us continue this very important work. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Pamela Robinson, founder and CEO of Aaron's House. Aaron's House provides support to caregivers of people with mental illnesses. We provide support in various ways. We have peer-to-peer support groups. We provide respite, education, as well as compassion. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we encourage each and every one of you to please take care of your mental health. Mental health is just as important as physical health. If you feel that something is not quite right with you, if something is off or your thinking is off, talk to a friend or a relative. You yourself know more than anyone when things are not quite right, so it's perfectly okay to seek professional help. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, we implore you to be kind to a caregiver. If you know of a caregiver that's taking care of someone with a mental illness, be nice to them. Offer to do groceries. Offer to run errands for them. Send them flowers or a card or a simple telephone call just checking to see how you're doing. Please remember that we're still in the midst of a pandemic and to follow the CDC guidelines. But please take the Aaron's House Challenge and be kind to a caregiver. Thank you and be safe.
So just before we move to the next person that we want to highlight, this particular presentation is going live on Facebook. So a lot of people that weren't signed up to come decided to join us live on Facebook. So the next person that's coming up is an amazing person. Now, the first part of the video, for the first time, is going to run and then it's going to stop. And then we're going to replay it all over again. Just give us 1 second. Went down to the last video. All right.
My name is Iris Davis, and this is me. From drugs, jails, and prison to right now before you at this moment. I've had quite a joy of turning my life around. I'm a recovering addict of 16 years. I currently hold 3 degrees and working on my 4th. I have a full-time job now at Hillsborough Community College in a counseling office. Go figure, right, y'all? I'm getting ready to start my own nonprofit, Teach, Show, Grow. I want to focus on those that come from my walk of life. I want to be able to give back to those that was in my shoes, and I still do that now. Working in the counseling department, I have the opportunity to share a piece of my story when needed, but also run around and help those less fortunate as myself stand up. My journey wasn't easy. There's been doors that look like it's opening for me, but there are institutions that refuse to open due to my past background, but I don't let that stop me. I can name some names, but we ain't getting nowhere with that.
Don't name no names.
Yeah, I ain't gonna name no names. They know who they is. Anywho, I don't know. Hold on.
You can tell this live.
Yeah, I mean, they're making a mess trying to get in this door.
Let me put this on.
I don't know exactly like who I'm talking to, and I wish the audience was bigger, but we need to help them because I come from that type of neighborhood. I was considered a statistic. I had to have someone help me that I deserve better to do better. And so that's all I want to do. I feel that if we can just reach back and help people come forward versus trying to make them feel like they're getting a handout, they can do better. In our neighborhoods, with all the violence on violence, they don't know no better because they don't see no better. I feel like if we have some more outreaches to show them that they can achieve different, then they'll begin to want different. But right now they see it's the man on the corner and the other man in the police car. So if we can just start changing some things, then things will change where we live at. Because it happened for me. I don't know who this is for. I don't know whom I'm speaking to that can need this inspiration, but I'm here to tell you change is possible. From jail, drugs, prison, the strip, the host role, to sitting before you now with all these credentials that I bust my behind for, behind someone who believed in me. And I'm so grateful to Mr. Michael for being my mentor, for using me wherever possible. And I just feel like that we just got to get out there and do more for people, but we got to also show them that they want more. You can lead them to the water, but we can't make them drink. But if they seen somebody who was in the water with them, then 9 times out of 10, they'll take a sip.
Awesome. Okay, so it's Denise Griffin. Denise Johnson, are you at your mic?
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. And I'm Alexander Green. And we are
this here, and then I'm going to Denise Johnson on. Hold on 1 second, folks. Let me come out of this. Denise, let me get you to unmute your mic. Denise, can you unmute your mic? Your mic? Denise?
I'm just saying, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I want to bring
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You're good. I want to bring Denise on. She's coming with a different approach on using cultural as a mechanism to transform community. Get it, girl. Tell us what this all about. Denise? Can you hear me?
Yeah, so I use a culture framework. Mike and I go back. Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can. You good?
Can you hear me?
Everybody,
hello?
Yeah. Folks, let me come out of this. Denise, let me get you to unmute your mic. Denise, can you unmute your mic? Your mic? Denise?
I'm just saying, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I want to bring
yes, can you hear
mechanism to transform community. Get it, girl. Tell us what this all about. Denise? Can you hear me?
Yeah, so I use a culture framework. Mike and I go back. Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can. You good?
Can you hear me?
Everybody,
hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so Mike. Okay, Mike and I go. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm from Baltimore. Mike and I are all organizers in Baltimore. And so I use culture as a framework for organizing, and I call it cultural organizing. And the backdrop is about our beliefs, our aspirations, our values, and the things that's important to us. And then we use the whole span of the arts and artists to highlight all that we are as human beings. So why did I transition from, I like to say, a deficit ideology of organizing to an asset-based way of organizing around a place I love, which is West Baltimore, is because I think we're too hard on ourselves. I think that the society that we had to inhabit it is a monster, and we strive to be a part of that monster, that standard. And that standard doesn't value us. And I believe we don't value ourselves enough. I also believe that we don't take enough responsibility for creating the opportunity and cultural values, traditions, and modeling for our young people. And also believe that, as a matter of fact, I know, and I'll just put the question out to all of you all, what I've learned that just about everything that we encounter in our physical space and society is created by artists. From the books we read, to the movies we watch, to the music we listen to the clothes that we wear, to the way we style our hair, so on and so forth. It all has an artistic influence, and that influence is a reflection of us. Artists reflect us. And so what I do in terms of using that framework is I organize around those things that's most important to us. Some of the things that Michael presented, which are aspirations. We want to improve our community. We want our youth to be more active, so on and so forth. Those are our aspirations. And then how do we strategize and build upon that based on just being human and not looking at, I like to say, the white model, because I think the white model is the model that has oppressed us and have us thinking that we need to be more and do more. But at the same time, they have created the problems that we have in our community. And I believe as long as we are using their models and not focusing on us, those beautiful things that we have created in the way that we have been in this country since we were born here, that's a whole lot of good, great stuff to celebrate. And so that's what I do. I celebrate our culture. I celebrate our humanity. And in doing that,
What I also learned is that we have a set of knowledge that no academic institution, government entity can touch. And the reason why I say that is because we had to be innovative. We can live, we can innovate, we can aspire, and we still can be happy and celebrate who we are because that's what we always did. And so part of knowing that we have this knowledge that nobody else has, let's merge that knowledge with the other knowledge, and we like to say co-create knowledge together so that the academic policies that are produced and that government usually picks up to create public policy that affects all of us, make sure that that is some of our knowledge is coming out. So that's what my focus is making sure that we raise ourselves up. We use the arts to do that, the arts to do that. We give them our knowledge, we merge the knowledge together, and we create new knowledge, which the expectation that the policies will change as a result of the infusion of our knowledge. Thank you for listening to me. It was so good to hear your presentation, Mike.
Thank you. So I see we got Janice Williams.
I hope folks heard me. I'm done.
Oh yeah, everybody heard you. You're good. So we have Janice Williams. How you doing, Janice? Can you unmute your mics for a second? Let's see if she can unmute her mic. And then we're going to close this out, folks.
Okay. Hey, how are you?
There you
It's
go.
a great presentation.
Thank you. Janice has been one of those soldiers that fight the fight. I mean, from when I first came to West Tampa, you can count the number of people that are soldiers that will fight, no matter. And we fought the fight. I mean, we had the establishment, the elite, the status quo. Everybody was against us, but because we understood the power of people, we overcame. Now, she is a member of the West Tampa CDC. She's also a member of the, what's that committee, CRA? The CRA,
Yeah, the West Tampa Community Advisory Committee. I'm an at-large member.
And that's important because what they do is they determine when money comes down the pipeline, how it's spent in the community. So let me see, am I missing anybody out there? Glenn Brown from the Children's, Hillsborough County Children's Board. They give a lot of money out, people. You need to make sure that you connect with the Children's Board. Now, Glenn, unless I'm wrong, don't y'all give, I think last year or the year before, like $24 million out in grants? Can you jump in and unmute yourself, Glenn?
Hey, Michael, thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate being here. Yeah, we gave out actually somewhere around $30-some million in grants, I believe. And we have our big grants, as you know, a lot of it is already dedicated, but the cycle for the leading and uniting grants, which are kind of, they're pretty big grants, will be coming up probably in October. So if you please check out our webpage, www.childrensboard.org. It's a little tricky to get there, but Michael can show you, or if need be, you can always call me there. But we do keep putting up announcements, and Michael's always been a good community partner with us on getting the word out and trying to make things work for children and families in our county. I do think this year there will be some interest. I'm not positive, but I see some discussion of issues regarding access and diversity and disparity. I don't know if that's going to be in the RFP, but we might have a good time for that stuff finally. So please check us out. Like I said, we should have some big announcements coming up, and we we love to work with the community. We're here for this. We're here for Hillsborough County. West Tampa is a big part of it, and always has been a great player and participant in so many things going on. I love that you're trying to address the issues of ameliorate the issues of gentrification with your plan there. I think developing art, culture, jobs, community, skills, and showing people how the neighborhood and residents can contribute to that growth rather than be moved out is really important. And it's really great. Your team is working on that. So thank you very much for the time and the shout out, Michael.
Thank you. I really appreciate you over the years in terms of being really committed. And he's the type of person that if you don't know, he'll pull you to the corner, give you the input, and then bring you back into the meeting. And that's really important. Is it anybody that I haven't acknowledged here? If so, please unmute your mic and tell us who you are. Are we good? Is everybody good? So I want to thank everybody for coming out to this presentation. Again, it's on Facebook Live. I got somebody raising their hands up. Sandy, are you raising your hand? Let me get you on mute. Hold on one second. Sandy, can you unmute yourself?
I'm trying.
Okay, you're good. We hear you.
I just want to say that I was participating. I was listening, and then I had a personal emergency, and I had to leave for a few minutes. But thank you so much. I would like to be able to see what I've missed. Is there any place that I can?
Yeah, this is being recorded live on Facebook. So once it's finished, I'm gonna send an email out to this presentation to everybody that's on this feed, even the people that are looking at it at first on Facebook Live. We got about 80 people that participate in this particular presentation. Those that are you that are here on this Facebook, on the Zoom, and then on Facebook in general. Like Glenn Brown, we have many people that's out there with the money, and they're looking for what are the best programs to fund. So, yes, Iris, I think you have your question up, your hand up. Hold on, let me get to Iris. Iris, can you unmute yourself?
All right. Hello, everybody.
We can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to say I like the idea in the presentation and that I want to be a part of it, and that's part of my class. So please pull me in on any level. The experience would be necessary for me. Also, I wanted to let everyone know that I have been recognized by the state as a nonprofit. Woo woo.
Okay. Okay, with your bad self. Yes, she is a 501c. She's getting a 501c3 status. She's a legal business right now, incorporated with the state of Florida. So, girl, you hear? She represents the best of all of us. So often we look down on people in the projects, in poor neighborhoods, on zip codes that represent people because of their income status. They look down. She represents the type of energy that you can't put me down. I can only put myself down, and I can put myself up. So we definitely wanted to recognize you, Iris, for all of the great things you're doing and the things that you have coming up.
Thank you. But Mr. Glenn, Mr. Brown, I want to know how to get in on that scholarship and those things. And if anyone needs to use me in any aspect, please do. Mr. Michael has all my contact until I'm able to, post everything. But I want to be a part of everything.
Good, but keep in mind, you're on live on Facebook, so you might have many people trying to get at you, all right?
Well, get at me, because, in order to grow what I want to do, I have to get out there, and I want to help as many as possible, so I want to be used however.
Good, excellent. Is it anybody else that want to chime in before we end the nice presentation? By the way, this is just part one. We're going to follow up will be part 2 as we begin to reach out to all those folks from all over the country that registered to take this class, from New York to California. We're going to get an email back. I know we're looking at Baltimore as the next particular meeting that's coming up. So we're trying to put together some things there in Baltimore, because a lot of things are going on in Baltimore. And we definitely want to bring a lot of more funders to Baltimore, so that those nonprofits in Baltimore that are operating out of grassroots and nobody won't give them an opportunity, we want to position them to get money to coming in from national funders in order for them to do what they do in their community. Anybody else want to chime in before we sign out tonight? I definitely want to appreciate everybody for taking the class tonight. Terry Hayes, do you want to say anything? You've been quiet. Terry Hayes, anything you want to say before we get out of here? Okay, I'm going to take that as no. Anybody else? Unmute yourself and twine in, or we can get on out of here, because I'm sure everybody's tired and everybody got something to do. So to the people that attended tonight, to the people that are watching us live on Facebook, we are about to change the narrative and transform poor communities by using a bottom-up approach that gives residents the strategy necessary and tools necessary to build their own community. Want to give a shout out to everybody. Love you. Keep coming back, because we want to change this narrative. I also want to give another quick shout out to Pam Robinson, who is definitely a star in what she's doing and making it definitely a difference in mental health. And let me see, is Janice Williams on the board? She's going to be coming to the CRA soon in reference to what this program called Marley House, and which she wants to put together to help those folks who are suffering from mental illness to have a place to go and a place to stay. And we know there's a lot of real estate in West Tampa, so we're going to be doing some follow-up on that. Just want to give you a head up, Janice Williams, because I know you're definitely the type of person to make things happen. So, everybody, again, I want to thank you for attending tonight. Iris, is your hand up again, or was that from the last time?
That's the same hand.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. Good night. Love you all.
Good night.
And have a good one.